Morning, fellow bedheads. Look at this. Yesterday we did a morning ground practice um, that was on the back body. And usually what happens is through my grounding practice, I'll go back body, front body, or side body, and then, depending the other side body, right? So I'm going to take you as if we did back body because we just don't have time for that, to what I might do on front body to waken up those tissues, okay? So if we started in back body, and I believe I left you here, I might give a little bit of rocking side to side. This isn't big. I'm wanting to feel the tissues on either side of my spine and the tissues on the low back. I'm really interested in those having support of ground. But when I'm ready, I can let my weight shift in contact with ground. It comes to the side and the legs go out and I roll to the belly. Once I'm on the belly, I want to really sense myself in contact with it. So we're going to take a few minutes and you're going to track. You can notice I started by just sensing my hands into the ground and onto this blanket, what they were touching. Palm of the hand naturally wanted to touch something. Touch what it was in contact with. And I'm just noticing the weight of my body as it meets the ground and gets supported. That organ body gets to meet the ground. And it pushes me into space. It just lying on my belly allows me to breathe into those back lungs. And it opens the fascia between the shoulder blades, especially if there's a lot of tension there. Now notice my head is resting on one side. Whichever side you want the head to rest on is fine. But you can also just awaken the mouth, the jaw. My sort of suckling, letting your tongue run over your teeth and the roof of the mouth. Opening, closing. We really just, with grinding and the gripping, clenching of the jaw, really want to let the bones of the face meet the ground, the jaw really get this support, release its holding from the night before. So I might start movement by turning those toes under, and we get that sort of jello jiggler effect. And so I just turn my toes under, and again you're noticing a little bit of from toes to head to tail movement here. I'm just feeling and orienting once again that movement as it travels up and down my spine. And that contact of the front body. Those tissues being supported as that movement travels through the front body, through the organ body. And just letting the breath move naturally. When it's ready to access, when there's a release, the natural side comes. And I like to allow for those natural releases. I sort of wait for them and track them. Let that come to stillness under your toes. Notice how your relationship to ground might have shifted, and there's often a tingling effect that happens after we do this vibration, that jello jiggler movement. Notice your relationship to space, feeling a little more contact with space. My face is in one direction. I really want the side tissues of the face, cranial nerves, to receive the support on the other side. So, notice I didn't just jerk my head up. It came up with ease because I just let the front body, the organs, move into the ground. And so there didn't have to be a big lift of the head, okay? It stayed in line with the spine. And I let my face rest on the other side. Now notice, for me, this is a totally different experience. There's totally different tension here, connection. And I want to allow that time to make this connection, notice the difference, but also to allow enough time and contact for it to unwind. And I'm opening and closing the jaw here, making those sucking movements with the mouth to open up. Release any holding in the jaw, the mouth. Once again, turn those toes under and give a little push. Notice how the movement's traveling differently, what might be different, what might be new, what might be more pleasurable. Is there excess here? Where there less excess? And then let that movement cease and turn the toes under. My arms are sort of in a diamond shape here. And I'll ask you to let the arms move, the hands, the arms just yield into ground just slightly so that the head lifts. And then I can turn my eyes, my mouth to the opposite side and lie that head down. So again, let it rest. And it's not that I'm letting the head release. I'm letting my front body, more of my front body receive, letting the spine release way down here. And the head is moving with that. Make any micro movements here that you might need. Swimming the shoulders, nodding the head, wagging the tail to rest back. And then I let the arms fill up with ground. There's a little bit of push, and it's just enough to just naturally lift the head, very little tension in the back body, and then the eyes move through center, the mouth moves through center, the nose moves through center, and I come to rest again on that opposite side. And I yield. And then as I'm ready, there's that filling up of ground with the arms, the hands, the forearms I can feel in contact. And a little bit, just enough to create lift. Through the spine that supports the head, enough support in the front body that the weight of the head is easily supported through the front of the spine. Okay, we're going to collect ourselves around our belly button on the right. So I'm going to drag, I'm going to turn the leg out, so the right heel will turn in towards the body, and my big toe ball mounds into the ground. You notice there's a little bit of releasing of this hip already from the ground. And I'm going to look towards the knee, and I'm just going to slide around my belly button, elbow to knee. And I might let this left arm grow long. There's a collection here on the right side, but there's an extension, a supported extension through the left line of the body. The butt comes up from the ground, right? Getting an opening here. I won't want to stay in contact with ground. I'm actually moving away slightly. And as I extend out, it just draws me back to center. And then as I'm ready, there's this collection around the left side. Each side of the spine is different. So this happens to be the side that I carry a lot more tension on, and I might give it some more time here to unwind. And it's just giving it time through this slight extension to have the support of ground. When I'm ready, I'll release around that belly button, come back to center. I could take that several times, okay? And then my next movement, I might take those hands. I really like this movement of warming them into the ground, feeling that contact with the blanket. It's a way to kind of open up the hands softly if you had carpal tunnel or you have some arthritis. This is a little bit of pressure into the hands is so nice for these bones, these joints, these tissues, right? Yeah, that just feels so lovely. Let that come to stillness, and then I just want you to begin to give a little push, and I'll let the hand feel, the lower arm feel, and the shoulder feel, and they'll push me a little bit away from the ground so that my energy is now in this left hand, and I'm going to push back. Let me take the hands out a little wider. Let the forehead be on the ground. Notice there's sliding and gliding of the shoulders. And my head is moving in relation. And my tail is sort of moving in relation here. I get to feel the weight of the forehead. It gets to have contact from each temple all the way through the forehead. So can I let the brain be heavy? And I'll let that come to stillness. That was a really nice opening, actually. So from here, tomorrow what we'll explore is I could let this left arm come out and this right arm come in. And we can explore grounding little series on the side body. So that's your little teaser for tomorrow.